In a lot of ways, I think of my work as having this narrative that's been going on for years, and that narrative kind of changes and morphs. It always has had the same foundation, I think, and it kind of returns to that again and again and again. Maybe like the way in which, an entire like filmmaker who's exploring something may make 20 movies that all kind of deal with a similar idea. I think I'm kind of exploring that in the same way. Graphic, fast, and cheap has been like the materials of what I use, Using spray paint, using photocopies wheat pasted to a wall, using kind of cut vinyl, which is like cheap signage for windows or for putting text on signs kind of around town. Even at times where I was doing kind of drawings on chalkboards, it's just like cheap and fast. Well, everything has always been very photographic. Even when I'm doing spray painted enamel on panel, or if I'm doing, the wheat paste work, like the wheat paste work is then photographed in the street, and then the photographs have been the thing that have been exhibited. When that happens, there's sort of a bit of a break that happens between the two pieces. There's the stuff that continues to exist on the street and be torn apart by wind and weather and everything else, people walking by and tearing bits and pieces off of it. And then the work that's sort of in the gallery that is, kind of frozen in time and, this perfect kind of aestheticized piece. I did this recent show called Project for a Revolution that was about like these kind of secret meeting places for conversations, and where, these little exchanges of a piece of paper might be, these elements that would be something that would be kind of the beginning of a revolution or something that was revolutionary. And those like under the bridges and in tunnels and alleyways are the spots for those little exchanges. I remember renting this film once, and it was like this French film, and I don't speak French, and there was no subtitles, but I was really interested in seeing this film because everyone was like, it's this beautiful film. Most of the time I kind of have an idea of what's going on with the characters, but like there's several moments that they're holding these objects and talking about things, or there's like this exchange between two people, and I have no idea what's going on. But I was really interested in those moments. It involved a lot more creativity on the viewer's part, and I'm kind of interested in that creativity. I always have these narratives. I have this little storyline in my head for each piece, and some of them are very specific and some are just kind of loose. But I don't know, I'm not interested in really revealing those little stories. But I'm really interested in people kind of investigating that themselves. Like, why is this character touching this person on the shoulder? Or why are these hands about to touch in front of this, kind of background of like Union Station? Or, I'm really interested in people kind of asking themselves, why is this happening? Like in drawing one, you learn that, if you make an arc, stop it, and then continue the arc, everyone's eye and your brain, whatever, it will continue the arc in your mind. So, you understand that it's still there. And I'm kind of trying to kind of do that in a narrative sense in my work. I think it's something that a lot of artists have kind of employed, even as far back as like Alex Katz or Lichtenstein or, Jeff Wall or Gregory Crutzen. They're all kind of interested in these like moments of pause, that moment between an action and a reaction. The moment when like something has happened and like something's about to happen, but it's that little space in between that I'm trying to investigate. Making sanctioned art is kind of a weird thing. It's sort of nice to not be like running from cops, and I'm finding it still sort of subversive. There's kind of like some areas around town that I've often thought about doing pieces on, but it's just like, there's no way. It's too trafficked, it's too visible. I would be arrested like instantly. I'm still interested in the way that you can be walking down the street and turn the corner, and suddenly there's this thing, and you don't know what that thing is, and it's this beautiful kind of like object that's sort of on this wall, and then you see another one around town and how this dialogue begins. Sometimes you have this big piece that kind of screams at you, and other times you have something that you stumble across, and other times it's like this little gem that's sort of hidden so that, you know, when you're standing in like Midtown Promenade, it's just sort of like over the shoulder of the person you're talking to, and you're sort of distracted by what is this little thing that's on the wall that you're seeing. And I'm interested in those little kind of happenings, these little, you know, circumstantial pieces. I mean, Atlanta doesn't have any alleyways, or it has like 3. But, you know, a lot of these are sort of like the backsides of buildings where people are parking. Most of them, people are going to have to be on their feet to see the pieces, but some of it's going to be driving. But there's something to be said about how when you're driving, a piece will kind of flicker. You know, you'll come upon it and then you're past it, and you'll be like, what was that? I'm relying on that flicker built with another flicker, built with another flicker, and how, you know, this little bit of a narrative, how the next time they slow down a little bit and look at what they saw, and then maybe the next time they get out of their car and look at it, and the next time they get out and they take a little snapshot of it, you know, and then they send that snapshot to a relative, and then, you know, or they post it on some website, or they put it on their blog, or, you know, like the work just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. I want to kind of increase this awareness for people to be looking around them, you know, using architecture that is about alleyways and rooftops and parking decks. It's the same sorts of settings for the pieces. Because this isn't about making a billboard and making an ad for watches or water or beer or whatever. This is about sort of these accidental things that you come across and how they're just a bit startling when you come across them. I'm interested in that reaction, in how, like, when you turn the corner, you see something you don't really understand, how some people get mad. They want to like rip it off the wall. Other people are sort of scared by it, in the way that some people are scared by just like tagging. You know, they feel like it's gang related because they have this misunderstanding. But I mean, I know I'm going to be making something that is not like that at all. It's something that I think transcends like what people's idea about graffiti is, but also transcends what people's idea about photography is too, and where those things can meet. I mean, I think that's why it's really exciting to do a project like this.